All right, everybody, welcome to our latest Live Motocross podcast. As I'm joined by former star racer Jackson Richardson and current star racer Aussie ace Kaleb Barham. Obviously, before we get cracking and talking a bit of Aussie ProMX, we'd like to thank the sponsors in Fly Racing, 24MX, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkline for all their incredible support. As without them, none would be possible. All right, massive thanks to the fans too for tuning in, commenting, visiting the website, all that. So it's greatly appreciated. But firstly, we'll start with you, Jats. How's life? And thanks for joining us, mate. Fresh off basking in the glory of picking both winners last week, RJ and Kenny.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, we've been hard at it this week. I mean, it's been a brutal week on the tools. Back's broken, spirit is way down. But I tell you what, it picked up over the weekend when I nailed the win. Second bet of the year I've been able to lock in. So, just couldn't be better. Pick both winners. So, I mean, I'm flying high at the moment. I'm on cloud nine.
Awesome to hear, mate. Absolutely excellent. Obviously, on the you, Caleb, mate. Firstly, congratulations on the announcement of your new deal for 2025, running the privateer program. Awesome stuff, mate. So, how's life? And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, mate, everything's been good. So just been getting everything sorted after that injury at World Supercross and just been enjoying a bit of time off, if I'm honest. So just been spending a fair bit of time with the 0-0 crew and just still being at the track. But yeah, been back on the Cowie now for I think a week and a bit now, nearly 2 weeks, and really enjoying it, man. They say change is good as a holiday, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good 25.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. And we'll sort of start with your program first, mate. Tell us a little bit, of much as you want to, about how it all came together, who are the awesome people you got working with you. And, you've been putting in those hard yards recovering from that injury. Obviously, that arm injury was savage, like you said, mate. WSX experience was really cool with CDR Yamaha, obviously being teammates with Tomac, pretty awesome experience there as well, mate. So just tell us about how it's all going, the recovery, the pre-season. It's exciting times ahead, mate, but been a pretty wild end to 2024, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, it was a very, very, very busy but fun end of 2024 up until the crash. It was, yeah, traveling the world, racing supercross with some pretty rad dudes. So, yeah, when we were in Vancouver, that was one of the, it's the gnarliest track I've ever rode in my life. It was, I was pumped to finish P5 in the last 12-minute main, and then Daffy said I had to line back up for the super final. I was not that excited to have to go do another 15 laps against Eli Tomac and Kenny on that track. It was yeah, definitely a gnarly one and something that I'd never witnessed before, having peg deep ruts through every transition, and it was so loose. As Tomac said, it was nearly gnarlier than Daytona. So yeah, for him to say that, I think it gave it all the credit it needed to. But just to hang around them type of guys, and it was very World Supercross, kind of its own kettle of fish. It's very publicized and very for the people, I guess you'd say. It's all about the experience, all about the nature behind it. And it was something really good to be able to experience and just to be hanging around those people, learning anything I could off them. I was trying to be a sponge the whole time. And it was an awesome experience and made plenty of good friends and allies along the way there. So that was good. And then unfortunately crashed at World Supercross in Perth. Ended up, yeah, with a massive dislocation, snapped the scaphoid in three pieces and then triquetrum in two, and yeah, pretty much mangled the whole wrist up. So yeah, that wasn't fun, but came back to Brizzy, flew straight back to Brizzy, and Dr. Steve Andrews got me sorted, and thankfully his crew, yeah, without them, a lot of us motocrossers would be stuffed, but they look after us like we're their own sons. And yeah, thankfully it's back sorted now and just been doing rehab, and it definitely is coming along good, but it's a very gnarly injury to come back from. Anything wrist related is obviously hard, but no, it's been good. I've been enjoying the progress of it, and then obviously another change of colour, which is it's exciting to do. So I said at the end of last year that I wanted to ride a Cowie, so I stuck by my guns, and yeah, ended up hitting up Cowie Australia and said, hey, what can we make happen? And thankfully got a good group of privateers behind me. Mum and dad are helping me out, and a small group of people I got behind me, personal sponsors and that. Alpine Star, Monza Imports, all the guys that have been with me pretty much now my entire senior career. I pretty much call them family now. So to be with them, it's really, really, really cool, and kind of it's a breath of fresh air, I guess you'd say, to be back on a privateer program in a certain aspect of that you can do what you want, you can run what you want, and there's no political side of it. It's literally just, if I want to run this, I go out and buy it. It's as simple as that. So obviously financially it sucks, but it's for a rider's peace of mind, it's very nice. So I'm excited. It's going to be a good year, and back to work with the 0-0 crew and Dean from Fight Fit Physio. Just been putting on a little bit of weight. So it's been good. It's been a nice, solid start of the year. We are obviously probably a month and a half behind where everyone else is, but hey, we've definitely still been putting in the work and the body's feeling good. So it's just going to be getting the bike time in now. So as soon as this cyclone nicks off and I can be able to ride my dirt bike, we'll be good.
Yeah, obviously, Jats, you know a bit about the privateer program, mate. Awesome to see Kaleb running that this year and just, should be awesome. You feel that extra confidence when you know what you're doing. Everything's in your control in a few more ways. You don't have that pressure and weight of expectation. It all comes from within. So pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh man, running your program is like it's an awesome deal. Like, especially when you got good people around you, makes it so much easier. And then you got a lot of freedom to like do a lot more things. Whereas riding for a couple of teams, and don't get me wrong, it was a good experience for the most part, but like you sort of like handcuffed to a point with like certain things and what you can do with the bike and like certain like nuances like that. So yeah, when you get the freedom to do what you can do like with a privateer program, it's awesome. I mean, I had some of my best years racing like being a privateer, and like it was awesome. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot more work and it drains the wallet a lot doing your own thing, but yeah, for the most part it's good. So yeah, I'm keen to see what KJ's got this year doing his own deal. I'm expecting big things out of the boy this year with his program. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. One of the very few blokes that actually beat Brodie Connolly last year straight up that absolute mega ride at Toowoomba, mate. That would have been a pretty awesome one. Obviously, we spoke after that, I believe, mate. And obviously, you're just showing off in front of Jack Miller for that weekend too, weren't you? So that was definitely one of the highlights, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, that's one thing I'm looking forward to this year. We never kind of got the round two of that head-to-head, unfortunately, in that second race. Brodie picked me off the start, and then I ended up going down trying to come through the field like a freight train. So it's one thing that it's one of my goals this year. I want just one race where it's just me and him and we can duke it out again. I don't care if it's at Echo, I don't care what track it's on, but it's definitely something that I'd like to do. It was definitely very fun battling him, and he's the guy to beat, man. He's going to be a super, super hard competitor to beat this year, and at the minute, there's a reason he's got the number one plate on, so he's the target to beat, and I'm looking forward to being able to jump on a bike and hopefully get some really good starts again. I want to get back to my Husky starts and be up that start every time. And hey, I think if I start up there, it's gonna be some good results.
Yeah, it's looking good, mate. And obviously, Jats for you too. Who you got for that MX2 class? Obviously, you got Brodie at the top of the list. Barham, you're going to be up there, mate. Obviously, Ferguson, Kingsford, Bud. There's some pretty heavy hitters in there, mate. So I guess it's probably going to be who can beat Brodie, but getting a good start at Wonthaggi is pretty imperative, isn't it? And I guess any of your key insights for that track as well, mate, because that's pretty unique in some ways too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely think it's fair to say like Brodie's obviously the one to beat this year after the season he had last year. And I mean, always, especially with the start of the season, always being at Wonthaggi, like the beat and screw are obviously going to be hard to beat at that one. So it's always hard when like you go to round one and those guys have done a million laps around that track by that point. But I honestly believe the field will be a lot closer this year because like there's some stellar riders in the 250 class, especially like being away from the series last year, watching it on TV and then like seeing them in motocross and supercross. And I mean, these guys are ripping. So yeah, I can see a lot of guys making a big jump this year. So I think it's going to be a lot closer like this year compared to last year. But yeah, it's exciting times, especially with that 250 class. All the young fellas in there, everyone's going for it. So yeah, it'll be a good one this year.
Yeah, mate. Obviously, back to you, Kaleb. Just any thoughts on the calendar and what are your aims for this year? Obviously, they've changed a few tracks up, mixed it up a bit, mate. Your thoughts? Is it any better, any worse? Are you happy with the schedule? There's always endless debates about it. A lot of time between races and whatnot, but obviously everyone's doing their best to fit everything in. There's a lot more on behind the scenes. But yeah, your take on just your aims and the calendar and how it all shapes out.
Yeah, as far as the calendar goes, I think it's very similar to last year. I like the end part of the season. I haven't got to travel that much, so that's nice. It's pretty well in my backyard, the last three, which is good. So on the track side of things, I think it's real good. Traralgon's the only one that we haven't been to or haven't been to. So that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, I think it's going to be another good series. It's obviously we're venturing around everywhere again. And I think they're trying to implement a few more 2 days, which I think is the way it needs to go. which obviously for yourselves, for media side of things, it is phenomenal. For riders, I think it's a phenomenal side of things. So, yeah, I think that's a nice. They're going to be able to use that as kind of a guinea pig to test this year, and hopefully it all is a positive way, or they can figure out how to make it work. So, I think the calendar is very, very good, and obviously works in quite well with our Sunny State series. So I love gate drops. So the more gate drops I can get in, the better I'm going to be. So. I'm looking forward to that. And the goals this year, literally, I just want to get back to 100%. I'm taking it one step at a time at the minute. As soon as I'm 100%, I'll be on that start line. So get back in, get 100%, and then, take it start by start, corner by corner. We know where we can be. It's obviously going to be starting off in the top 5. I think it's hard to be able to go out and come back from an injury and just go straight to winning. I guess I did do that at Echo. I missed around and then came out and won. But you've got to look at it realistically. And, I'd like to just start building off top 5s, top 3s, and then get on that podium. So, look, it's all going to be a work in progress with a new bike. There's probably going to be things we're going to find out that we need to fix or change or work with, and there'll be some positives. There will always be some negatives. It's the way the world works. So, look, it's just going to be a full learning experience, and hopefully everything that I've learned in the last couple of years, being on a privateer, then a factory, and hopefully I can use all those skills that I've learned over these last couple of years to really be able to make it a solid year this year.
Yeah, mate, well said. It's exciting. Definitely all that knowledge and experience should definitely hold you in good stead, and you can sort of just build up to a level because, building up the base is so important in anything. So, you'll get there, mate. It'll be good to see. And obviously, Jats, on to you, mate, as we go through the calendar. How many rounds will you be attending? We need to get you on the mic there for sure, on the socials, on some aspect. But, we got Wonthaggi first, Appin, Gilman, Traralgon, Warwick, Nowra, Toowoomba, and QMP to finish, mate. So any of that sort of tickle your fancy, Jats, and how many do you reckon you'll make?
Oh, mate. Well, I'll probably be making the last round for sure because the last round's always a heater. I mean, it was always a heater when it was at Coolum. I mean, now we're going to be finishing the season. Oh, it's at QMP. So not too far of a drive to the valley after that one. So, that's always a good one. But, looking forward to it as always. Probably will make the last round. Definitely won't be there suiting up because I have not touched a bike in like a year and 6 months now since Melbourne Supercross 2023. So I would shudder to think about what I would look like coming out there. I'd probably be looking like Ronnie Mack at the moment with my current form. But no, I'll definitely be there at some point. I'll definitely be there for sure, cheering the boys on.
Oh, mate, it'd be good to see you out there. And obviously in the Supercross next year, you should be more involved in that series too. And obviously, Kaleb, made just a few insights on the training program. Obviously, we've spoken about it. Nathan Crawford, the crew at Fighting Fit, do an amazing job there. It's a sort of no stone unturned approach, mate. You guys have all the bases covered. And you've got an awesome crew, obviously, yourself, Nathan Crawford, the rider, Duffy, Waters, obviously Tanti, big shout out to him, massive injury. Same as Zane Dunlop, mate. Those poor blokes have had a bit of a rough run. Obviously yourself too, but how good's the crew? How's the vibes? And it's a pretty awesome program, isn't it?
Yeah, look, coming from a rider's point of view, there's just no stone unturned. So you come in with a lot of confidence, and coming back from an injury, you kind of have doubts here and there. But look, at the minute, I know that Dean's got me working my butt off. I'm actually looking forward to getting on the bike so I can cut down on the gym a bit and on the cycle. So, look, it's one of them things you just got to go through the trenches at this stage and kind of put in the hard work, and it'll pay off in the end. So, look, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good vibe there. The crew is pretty solid. There's a good skill level and a good buffer for us. Reese Bud's in there now, so there's a good group of 250s coming in. And for me, there's a great group of 450s to try and beat and annoy. So I like throwing rocks at them. So, and I don't like copping rocks from a 450. So it's good. It's a good little carrot to chase. And obviously Big Croft puts a firecracker up our butt every day and make sure that we're accountable for everything we do. So it's going to be good. And it's one of them things that if you do well and you get the results, he'll praise you. But if you don't, he'll sure as shit tell you.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. Just a quick word on Tanti and Dunlop. How are they faring, mate, after their injuries?
Yeah, Dunlop's obviously, unfortunately, at Kilcoy. He just had an off, and I wasn't there for that day. But he's in pretty good spirits, I think. So it's just one of them things. It's part of dirt bike racing. We all know it's one of the things. You cop injuries, and some are worse than others. And unfortunately, he's got a pretty gnarly one to come back from now. And as for Tanny, that one sucked. Obviously coming pretty close to being a lot worse than what it probably was. So, he's lucky to get out of it with what he did. And from a mate's point of view, like me and Tanny, when we finish riding dirt bikes, we'll be hanging out till the day's end. But yeah, for me, it was obviously quite a gnarly one to see and witness, and he's in the full halo. Like it's the real deal, man. It's gnarly, but he's in good spirits. He's just literally been sitting on his butt. He's been playing PlayStation and just trying to keep his mind occupied while he's doing it. So he's got another couple of weeks, I think, in that, and then yeah, it'll be pretty back to normal from then. It's one of them things. As much as it's gnarly and it's kind of pretty confronting, it's at the end of the day, it's really just a broken bone. So he's just got to do the right thing, let it heal, and then the bone's healed, you're good to go. But yeah, he'll make a full recovery. Everything will be fine. But it's just, yeah, it was obviously anything neck and back related. As soon as you mention motorbikes, is obviously quite a takes your breath away straight away. So yeah, he's doing well. Both the boys are doing good, and it's one of the things. It's part and parcel of the devil we play with. So it's going to be one of them things. He'll be back a bit later on in the year, and yeah, he'll be good to go.
Yeah, mate, wish them all the best for their recovery. And on to you, Jats, mate. What were some of your pre-season training programs looking like? How dialed were they? Were they loose? Were they completely on point, mate? Give us a few insights into those.
I mean, put it this way, Ed. Like my preseason training program, structure was not on the forefront of it. That is for damn sure. It definitely wasn't as well oiled as like the 00 Elite Boys and a Baker program. Put it that way. But I definitely busted my ass in preseason. I did through my whole career. I mean, I put in some work. I mean, sometimes probably a little too much work to where I probably cooked myself. But probably where I went wrong for the most part was when there was definitely a day off and I knew I wasn't going to be riding the next day on a Saturday night, when I probably should have been in bed, like getting my 8 hours of rest instead of 2 hours of rest, being at the wool shed till ungodly hours of the morning. Yeah, that was probably where I went wrong. But but yeah, no, it was especially. I mean, that's one thing why I'm glad I'm on the couch now, not racing anymore, because pre-seasons up in Cairns at this time of the year was a nightmare. Especially like when you got to go to the track and leave your car running so you can leave the aircon on from the moment you get to the track to the moment you leave. So when you come in from your 30-minute motor, you just jump straight in the aircon. Like that's when you know you got some brutal work out of you. And those days I definitely do not miss, especially like this time of the year being in Cairns, because it's either hot as fuck or it's just raining like torrential downpour, monsoonal conditions. And then sometimes there was no choice but to go ride. So you go ride, your bike would be absolutely flogged at the end of it. Feels like you just put about 30 hours on it after a day in the mud. So yeah, that's definitely what I don't miss about it. That's for sure.
Oh, mate, that's brutal. The program, you're sort of happy you're doing what you're doing now in many ways, even though that's sort of slogging it out in a different way. But a quick last bit of Aussie motocross chat. MX1 class, start with you, Caleb. Pretty stacked again. Obviously, the Beaton Webster. Drew's going to be pretty awesome. Obviously, went down to the wire last year. It was excellent. Obviously, Tanti, we look forward to having him back at some point. Clout, Crawford, Waters, Gibbs, Duffy's back. Purvis will be on that CDR Yamaha. Bit sad to see Metcalf. He's retired now, but yeah, it's pretty stacked again, isn't it, mate? It's going to be good for the fans and just make MX2 and MX1. It's going to be excellent on TV every weekend. The fans can enjoy it on track or on the screen, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's going to be good spectating in both classes, in all three classes, if I'm honest. Even MX3, there's going to be plenty of depth in all of them. And I think each track we go to, there's going to be riders that have certain advantages. Like obviously Webby, round one, he's going to be hard man to beat. He showed that at the preseason races last weekend. He was the guy to beat, and there's a reason he's going to have the number one on his bike. So. And it's going to be good watching through all classes. The top five is going to have battles the whole way through, and then even down into the late teens, there's going to be battles going the whole way through. So it definitely feels like it's picking up. It's getting more and more depth and more people, which is good. But yeah, I think if they're a spectator, it's phenomenal. It's going to be really, really good watching.
Yeah, mate. Jats, your thoughts on the MX1 class? Pretty stacked. It's going to be box office, isn't it?
Yeah, dude. It's going to be, like MX1 definitely going to be up for grabs this year. Webby, like getting the championship last year, Jed having a bad, I think it was the second last round where he lost the points lead and like had a bad moto and lost it. So So he's going to be fired up like this year, trying to get the championship. So, yeah, and there's a lot of good guys in the class. I mean, Toddy Waters is still in the class, guys. I mean, I think he's pushing 40 years old at this point, and the man is still in there getting after it, getting in there with the boys, switching the training program up. And like from what KJ said, he's on rails at the moment. So I'm looking for Toddy to get in the mix a little bit more this year. And then Cloudy's going to be good also, like as usual. But yeah, it's going to be wild. But I feel like for the most part, it'll probably come down to a 2-horse race again in between Webby and Jed. Because, I mean, those guys, especially on outdoors, those two, like, they got a really good skill set for outdoors compared to Supercross. So, yeah, those boys will definitely be the ones to be. But if I had to pick right now, I'd probably lean towards Jed at this point because, yeah, he'll be good, especially like having what happened last year, like just losing the championship and having that motivation. I feel like that'll carry him through to a chip this year.